Hello and welcome back. Design number 12 for 2025. This is the design. Looks really familiar. Looks kind of like design number 3, but trust me, it's different. We need 7mm hook or any hook you use, scissors, and of course a sharp needle. Design comes with 2 different colors, and because I was using purple before, I will show you now different color combination, like reverse color combination, which I start with gray. In the first round, you will make first cluster and right away you change yarn color. In the first round, you want to have 2 clusters of different color yarn opposite of each other. I do not cut this yarn or like even thread this yarn. I just keep around my first yarn. Once I'm done, I just cut it and I'm done. This yarn, from my experience, stays in place. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you need instruction how to make one color granny square, I always leave the link in the description, as well all the other designs we are learning this year. So we are making cluster number 4, and now we will change yarn color again because we want this yarn to be brought up to the next round. There you go. Now what I do, I normally do not even tie it, but you can also tie this and then cut and you're all set. So let's do round number 2. We start with the color yarn we finish, and now what we will be doing, it's very simple as well. You will be making 2 clusters of the same color on each side. Because my first row cluster was gray, I'm working 2 clusters of gray. Then I will change yarn color in the corner and I will work 2 clusters of purple and also carry yarn around the non-working yarn, and you working your stitches around that yarn. The most important thing when working with color changing, it's to making sure your yarn tension is not too tight. You want this square to be very playful, and by keeping the same yarn tension, you can also ensure that each of your square will have the same size. If you are joining me for the first time, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to this nice little club we have, and we crochet or knit together. So as you see, this is very simple design. Right now we're just making sure that 2 of our clusters on each side has the same color. And now we're changing yarn color for the round number 3. And in round number 3, we will change yarn color only on the top and on the bottom of the square. So I'm making my first cluster and my first yarn change. The yarn change is just for 1 cluster, and then I will carry that yarn all the way to the other side. And that round might be a little challenging for beginners because you carry that yarn for long distance, and you want to be sure that yarn does not pull anything, want to be the same tension as your stitches. You want your square to remain in a square shape. So right now I'm just making the same color yarn clusters all the way to the other side. And remember to carry that yarn with you so it's ready for you to use in this section of your square. So now I need 1 more cluster in gray, and I will change yarn color just for 1 cluster because that's the opposite side of the one I made before. And even if I will no longer use this color yarn in this round or in round number 4, I still want to carry that yarn all the way to the end of my square because I will need that yarn in round number 5. And now before we finish round number 3, I want to show you one more thing to pay attention to. There is a yarn exposure right here. That's the carry yarn. You want to make sure you place your hook under that yarn to hide that. So you're making your stitches around this exposed yarn. We are changing yarn color, and this is how I do. I will put my working yarn on the left side, make slip stitch twice with 2 different color yarns, and then I can just work my stitches. In this round, you're making just 1 round and 1 color yarn. So your gray, in my case, yarn will be waiting for me for the next round. So work independently. I believe you already know how we are making. Only be sure when you see any yarn exposure, work those stitches around to hide it. I will see you at the end of this round, and we will start the next round, which will be round number 5. We are almost done with round number 4, and that's actually the true design. Let me show you how it looks like. This is the design, and as you see, the other part looks a little bit different, and this is only because we're adding a border. In this project, I'm adding round number 5, and that will be the border. Now I'm ready to cut purple color yarn, but I will leave a little bit longer tail. I want to show you how I hide any exposure on the wrong side to minimize that exposure. So let's continue to the simplest round, which will be just 1 color again, and we will meet each other at the end of this round to show you how we will hide the ends. And as always, thank you for stopping by, and if you have any questions or problems creating your design, just shoot me a message through comments and I will be happy to help you. All right, we are done. Look at that. So this yarn hiding is very simple, and I show this in many of my videos. You're just recreating the last front loop of your first stitch, and this is how I do that, and then I just go in between kind of like 2 times to make sure this yarn is secure in between the fiber. Now this one is a little bit different. I want to use this yarn tail to eliminate any possible exposure in the future after washing the blanket. So if I see anything that is kind of sticking out, I want to pull this to the center of the cluster, and this is how I do that. And you can just go around the loop. You don't even need to go through the fiber. Now let me show you how I carry the yarn on the side that I want to work. And then I will go in between again in the center of the cluster, and I pull that yarn a little bit to the side and connect to the cluster. And that's very important why my carryover yarn, it's a little bit looser. This is allowing me to hide all those possible exposure after washing the blanket. So what do you think about this method? Did you ever use this one? Or maybe you don't even need to. Maybe you make in your granny square completely different way. But that's it. That's how I hide the ends. And once I'm done, I'm just cutting the yarn and we are done. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this design? You can create a little 8 or a little butterfly, or you can see the hearts. Whatever you see, it's cool with me. Thank you for joining me today and have a wonderful day.